What's the most useless skill you've mastered? Mine is that I can identify literally any bread just by tasting it. Not just like, oh, that's sourdough, but I can tell you the exact brand, if it's artisanal or mass-produced, and sometimes even which bakery it's from. Completely and utterly useless skill that has never once impressed anyone except my grandmother who taught me. It started when I was like 8 and would spend summers with my grandma Valentina, who owned this tiny bakery. She was obsessed with teaching me about bread. Not how to bake it, which might have actually been useful, but how to identify it. She'd blindfold me and make me taste different breads and guess what they were. At first it was just basic stuff, white, wheat, rye, whatever. But by the time I was a teenager, she had me identifying specific brands and recipes. I got weirdly competitive about it. Like my grandma would invite her baker friends over and they'd test me and I'd nail it every time. That's a Martin's potato roll, but it's a day old. Or, that's Pepperidge Farm Hearty White, but it was frozen and thawed. They'd all clap and I'd feel like a celebrity for knowing something so completely pointless. My family thinks it's hilarious. My mom always introduces me at parties like, this is my daughter Brittany. She can tell you what bread you're eating while blindfolded. And then everyone just stares at me like I'm a circus freak or something. No one has ever been impressed. My brother Joseph used to bring random bread to family dinners just to test me in front of his friends. I'd get it right and they'd be like, cool, and immediately change the subject. I tried putting it on my dating profile once as a conversation starter. Big mistake. Got messages like, so if I kiss you after eating a sandwich, will you know what bread it was? Delete, delete, delete. Tried to use it at a dinner party once when someone asked what kind of bread we were eating. The host was like, IDK, it's from Trader Joe's, and I was like, actually, it's their sourdough batard, but it's their Tuesday batch, which is always a bit more sour than their weekend batches. Everyone just stared at me and someone literally said, that's specific. Never got invited back. I even tried to monetize this stupid skill. Applied for a job at a fancy bakery thinking they'd be impressed. The manager was like, that's nice, but can you use a cash register? Spoiler, I could not. Didn't get the job. My roommate tried to help me show off this skill at a party by blindfolding me and having people feed me different breads. Someone gave me a piece of cake instead, and I confidently announced it was ciabatta with an unusual honey note, and everyone laughed for like 10 minutes straight. I wanted to die. TBH, I had completely given up on this skill ever being useful until last year. I was at this fancy restaurant with my boyfriend Eduardo for our anniversary. He ordered this really expensive tasting menu and was trying to impress me with his food knowledge. The waiter brings out this bread basket, and Eduardo starts going on and on about how this is some special imported bread that costs like $15 a loaf. I take one bite and I just know. It's literally Walmart brand Italian bread that they warmed up. Not even the good Walmart bread. I didn't want to embarrass him in front of the waiter, so I waited until we were alone. I was like, babe, this is Walmart bread. They're charging $12 for a bread basket of Walmart bread. He didn't believe me at all, and we got into this whole argument about it. He was so confident that I was wrong that he literally called the manager over to settle it. I was mortified, but also like, I know my bread. The manager comes over all concerned, and Eduardo asks about the bread. The guy goes pale and starts stammering about their usual supplier being out and having to make a substitution. Eduardo looked at me like I had superpowers. The manager was so embarrassed and gave us a gift card to come back.